Hi, tonight we're going to talk about the nature of spiritual experience. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin said, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience, we are spiritual beings having a human experience." He is saying we are in reality spirit in eternity, souls with a body and mind, having a short-lived human experience. We can't get the ocean in a cup. In the same way, we can't get the infinite spirit with its joy and bliss in our mind. We have to experience the divine itself. It is an attraction that no worldly experience can satisfy. We label it God, but it is infinite and limitless, so there is no form. Our mind thinks thoughts that put everything into visible shapes, or configurations of color, texture, and form. But the spirit is beyond form, beyond the mind, as it is awareness. The key to the spiritual experience is love, as it is above all hands-on experience. That is why it has no rules, laws, or specifics. Love is not in one place, and it is faster than sound or light. It can be earned because it can't be earned because it is a spiritual experience of living in the present, with the awareness of love, grace, and being present. Richard Rohr says, people who have had any genuine spiritual experience always know that they don't know. They are utterly humbled before mystery. They are in awe before the abscess of all in wonder at eternity and at the depth and a love which is incomprehensible to the mind. To have a spiritual experience does not mean we are without imperfections or that we never miss a mark. It means that we are observing our thoughts, actions, and our reactions to them from beyond the mind and body. We are one with our soul, that is, one with everything in an ocean of consciousness. One with nature and one with the bliss that comes from it. There is no separation and no division as we perceive from our higher self, which is love, awareness, and pure consciousness. In spirituality, we even merge with our pain and problems and do not use spirituality to avoid them, which is not healthy. Spirituality is not a crutch, a drug that we use to just get by, but wings for us to fly. That means we have unhappiness and emptiness, but have the ability to shift our awareness to include the highlights, to go with it as we perceive reality in totality. We see the suffering and disappointment in the world, so we seek answers and meaning, and that is what gives us compassion and a breakthrough to another level. The Dalai Lama says, through difficult experiences, life sometimes becomes more meaningful. When we are relaxing in the present moment, the shadows of our past cannot block the light of bliss in our moment. In spiritual practice, we learn not to limit our awareness to just the past or future, but the present that contains all three. We don't even limit the self to being a man or woman, as we are the consciousness of the soul that has no gender. Small shifts to the expansive consciousness has more effect on our life than making giant efforts to change everything. It is a kind of unlearning, as the infinite consciousness can't be embraced with a partial, one-sided mind that is biased. It takes time to deal with what we have been dealt with. But we are in eternity, so we don't have to let go of everything overnight. We don't have to see or climb the staircase, but just take one step, small step at a time. And if we go down a step, it is all right. We're not going to hell. We have bad days, and at least they are not bad months or years, as everything changes when we let go of how we think. Our life should be just observe who we really are. The moment we relax into our consciousness, is a moment our mind and body chemistry changes to the ideal for what we have to do. Our higher self knows what is best and knows what we have to change to make our body, mind, and life better. Eckhart Tolle says, the moment you become aware of the ego in you, it is strictly speaking no longer the ego, but just an old, conditioned mind pattern. Ego implies unawareness. Awareness and ego cannot coexist. The ego creates our drama, so we lose our direction as it manages our conduct, wasting our life on spectacles, because that is the way it stays in control. Spirituality happens when we realize that we are not the voice in our head that pretends to be us and creates all the drama. So we realize we are not the voice, the thinker, or the drama, because we are the spirit aware of it. Therefore, one aspiration is to awaken to pure awareness as we share this intention with everyone on the planet, as it is the way to happiness. Our ego supplies us with broken pieces by making bad choices, but our gentle spirit and its holistic combination helps us to make a comeback to find peace in the soul. We spend time having a beautiful face and an ideal body, but that is only eye candy, a mere decoration that will change. But the soul is constant as an ideal of beauty. Therefore, eye candy is exterior and will change, but soul food is interior and is always the same. But when we taste it, the things around us change. The invaluable things we find in our soul are infinite and can't be taken away from us. But when we find the soul hidden beyond the mind, things just happen without us doing a thing. Rumi says, when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. Bob Marley says, some people feel the rain, others just get wet. Spirituality is about being aware. It is not about stopping our thoughts, negative or positive, because it is about observing them with awareness. Therefore, we do nothing about our thoughts except watch them rise up like bubbles, rising from below. We do the same no thing with feelings and sensations, as we just observe them with awareness as the bubbles rise then disappear. This non-reaction to our thoughts and feelings stops the impulse to react. So we don't take our thoughts and feelings personally because we are observing them from consciousness. Being conscious protects us from our conditioned mind that wants to make rivals, antagonists, and combatants as the opposition. This requires a deep healing to rise above our pain, to transcend what has happened to us in the past, and just let go of long-remembered experiences that bring us down. The spiritual practice is forgiveness, so we can be happy now before we run out of time, and can vibrate and thrive at a higher level. Don't wait for the situation to change. Life has its ups and downs, so we need to learn to enjoy the ride. Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. This love comes from our unconditioned spirit, and it heals, honors our mind and body, as it protects our energy from negativity that makes life complicated. Ramana Maharishi says, as you are, so is the world. Without understanding yourself, what is the use of trying to understand the world? The world is a mirror, reflecting our thoughts, positive or negative. So the faults we see in the world are in our reality, not the fault of the reflection. This means we need to address our thoughts and feelings and harmonize them. We don't have to give up anything. We just have to observe our thoughts and fine-tune them in our spiritual practice. We do this by relaxing in the soul, like we do with our smart devices. When we unplug them, so they can reset after a failure. So we can do the same thing with ourselves and unplug for a while to realign with consciousness. Our soul knows when we are faking it, and our life resonates with pain, and it also knows the way to authentic truth, no matter what others say. When we are suffering and life is difficult, it is even more important to observe and pay attention because the pain is trying to teach, guide, and elevate us. The universe unplugs us by isolating us so we can go deep within and realign with our purpose. And once we heal our wounds, we can show others how to heal also. We don't need a specific book, church, teacher, or anything special because the realignment or healing is between our soul and our self. Khalil Gibran said, "Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars." Rumi said, "It's your road and yours alone. Others may walk it with you, but no one can walk it for you." Only our soul knows the ultimate happiness for us because our soul is our true self. The problem is our ego mind that keeps us from the spiritual experience. We did not come here to kill, terminate, or abolish the ego, but we can learn from the ego. Spiritual practice is observing our thoughts that come from the ego mind to learn from our experiences, pleasant or unpleasant. There are many spiritual practices that can give us a taste of the unity of consciousness, but the ego can also use them to think we are or our way is superior. We have so many religions with many gods with different names and practices, but the ego uses them to keep us afraid of ourselves, our own reality, feelings, and thoughts. They are not evil, and the ego is not bad. If we are aware, learn, and wake up to see the bigger picture. Awareness is not new, and it is not great. That is just the removal of disguise, our concealment, and the ego's cover-up of the secret. It starts in the mind and ends when we go beyond the mind, because the mind gives our thoughts power, and then the ego injects energy to keep the play going. Rumi said, "All day I think about it, and then at night I ask myself, where did I come from? What am I supposed to be doing? I have no idea. My soul is from elsewhere. I am sure of that, and I intend to end up there. Who looks with my eyes? What is the soul? I cannot stop asking. If I could taste one sip of an answer, I would break out of this prison for drunkards. I didn't come here of my own accord, and I can't leave that way. Whoever brought me here will have to take me back home." Thank you.